All right. We kind of started on time, actually. It's still 11:05, but the the surprises never cease to amaze me. How they just keep popping up here in the last like 2 weeks, ever since OBS decided to change shit up. Just the surprises happen. So for some reason, when I was checking, because I always check the songs that they're in order and that they're playing correctly before I actually start the stream. I get to the first one, and it's not playing for some reason. So the file, even though I checked it originally when I put it on here, it just decided not to start playing. So I'm trying to figure it out on the fly as I'm trying to start the stream. So that's why we were late. Luckily, my awesome ass knows how to figure out shit pretty quickly on the fly now, because we've had so many of these dumb, stupid pop-up weird things that happen. But we think we got it fixed. I guess when we get into it, we'll try to find out. But nonetheless, we are starting on time. But anyway, this actually today might be our shortest set that we've had in quite a long time. I think the last actual short sets is back in 2020. I think we were still doing in 2020. We were still doing like one-off songs. Like we were doing reactions to one song. Can you remember those days? That was like 6 years ago. And then I remember there was a time right before we started getting into like the pay for play kind of stuff. We were doing like 3 songs per set. And then it eventually turned into what we have now today, where we have, like people who were kind of the DJs for the day, and they turn in. And to me, it's funny, that's even evolved, in my opinion, in the last like couple of years, where it was typically 5 songs and 4 songs. But now we rarely get a non-6 song set. Like every set seems to be 6 songs. So that's kind of become the norm, which I find very interesting. However, today is a 4-person set, and that was meant to be a 5-person set. But we gave Jason many, many chances to try to, turn in his song, and it didn't happen. So this is a 4-song set today, which is a rarity now. Has everybody or anybody checked on Jason? Is Jason fine? I'm sure he is, but I just want to make sure because, I think somebody, or Ryan, didn't you talk to him and he said he was going to turn in his song and then he never did? So I know he wasn't around in the channel for a good year and a half or so or more. And same with his wife, Ivy, who we miss. Ivy, come back. But he was, once the Discord got shut down on that channel because it got crazy, he's not been around at all, which I kind of figure would happen. I would guess if he turned in his song, he'd pop in here. So Jason, sorry, I didn't get it. Nobody told me about it. I think I checked my spam folder yesterday and I didn't get it because I was looking for Bryce. Bryce, if you're around, I think Bryce, like a week ago, paid for a set in the future. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to put you on the schedule until you give me your, actual songs. Because I don't like when, it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and you're like, yeah, we have 5 people. And the restaurant says, no, we're not going to sit you until all 5 people show up. Because they've learned that people will say, oh, we have 5 people. And then they get sat at a table of like 6 or 7. And then like 2 people show up. And they're like, we're not going to do that. So same thing goes on this channel. If you pay for it, sweet. But I'm not putting you on the schedule typically until you actually turn in your songs, because I just don't want to put you on the set if you're not going to turn in your songs. So we've already had, I think a month ago, we had somebody, have 2 sets turned in that they never paid for. That's like the different side of it. And then eventually at the last second said, I don't want to do the songs or do the sets. So it's like, okay, well, I'll take them off the schedule. So I would like to say before we get started, since this is a shorter set, I think it'd be fun if you guys, because I've done it every once in a while. I haven't done it for a really long time. But you should try every once in a while to go back in the channel, because all the songs are there. All the sets and stuff like that are there. try to go back and watch some of the streams, aka, I mean, for the first like 2 or 3 years of the channel, I would get a song and I would record it and have like editing. I would do all this editing for that, and then premiere it on the channel or whatever. Go back and just watch some of those. Like, I think it's funny. I think the last time I watched it was New Year's Eve. We had a live stream on New Year's Eve because I had just moved back to the United States. I was at my dad's house. He was going through some health problems. We were trying to find a house and adjust to our new life in the United States. And I had no friends, and it was COVID, so nobody was going out. And so I literally spent my New Year's Eve in 2020 going into 2021 doing a live stream. And that was where it kind of switched into the pay for play, because that's where we started getting a ton of people requesting so much that I just didn't have time to keep up with it all. So I watched that and I'm like, that was a very pivotal point in the channel, which I find interesting. So yeah, just if you guys care, go back and watch some of those old reactions, because I find it funny every time I see it, because not a ton has changed, but it is interesting to see the different iterations of the channel. We've fucking been around here for over 7 years. That is nuts. 8 years almost. All right, so let's get into this. Let's see what we got. So first up on the list is Mr. Galen. And remember, the point and theme of this hodgepodge of 4 people, supposed to be 5, is lyrically relevant songs. So we're going to concentrate here on the lyrics more than we are the actual music, which is typically hard for me to do because my brain just automatically listens to the music first, and lyrics have always been like the cherry on top. In most songs, I think, and just in general, no matter the genre, lyrics are pretty dumb. People, I think, have a really hard time expressing themselves. It's either some message that only the writer understands what's going on because they're obviously writing it, or it's just like just very mysterious, or just retardedly dumb, like stuff on pop music like wet ass pussy and shit like that. Just absolutely dumb lyrics. That's the vast majority of songs. There are a handful, or I would say 10 to 20% of songs in all genres, all over the course of every decade we've had music, where the lyrics are actually kind of cool, and they make the cherry on top to the music itself. So that's the way I always enter into a song, is if the music, I like it first, and that's all I really need to like the song. But if there's like great lyrics or good lyrics that go well with the music, that's the master cherry on top. And that to me is what makes a good song into a great song. So this is not necessarily saying this is a great song, but the idea is we're going to focus on the lyrics. So Galen, let's see what he has to say. The first email he sent me, he didn't really send anything else that I know of. He just said, here is a short about the song that would make a good lead-in if you're interested. So I'm going to play that, especially since we have extra time. But Galen, I can't seem to find where else you wrote. Let's see this. I think you wrote, I kind of remember you writing it, but I can't find the email. Did you write any more than that, Galen, about the song? Like a description? Because I can't seem to find that email. Let's see. I'm looking for it. Yeah, I don't see it. So let me check. Galen, did you say anything about, let me look. Is he not here? Okay, I don't think Galen's in the chat. So if you wanted me to have like a paragraph that you were going to intro the song to, I don't seem to find it. I just have that one email that says, if you want to do this intro to the song, you can. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to play it, and then we'll get into the song. The song is a hit, and it's a hit for a reason. Everybody will know this song, but nonetheless, here we go.
What's Going On is a song by American singer-songwriter Marvin Gaye, released as a single in 1971. It is the opening track of Gaye's studio album of the same name.
I wasn't even sperm
The song
in
marked
71.
Gaye's departure from the Motown sound towards more personal material.
turn it
Later
up.
topping the Hot Soul Singles chart for 5 weeks and crossing over to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, it would sell over 2 million copies, becoming Gay's second most successful Motown song to date.
Behind Let's Get It On, because that fucking song is awesome.
Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time in 2010. The song's inspiration came from Ronaldo Obi Benson, a member of the Motown vocal group The Four Tops, after he and the group's tour bus arrived at Berkeley on May 15, 1969. While there, Benson witnessed police brutality and violence in the city's People's Park during a protest held by anti-war activists in what was hailed later as Bloody Thursday. Upset by the situation, Benson said to author Ben Edmonds that as he saw this, he asked, "What is happening here?" One question led to another. Why are they sending kids so far away from their families overseas? Why are they attacking their own children in the streets? Upset, he discussed what he witnessed with friend and songwriter Al Cleveland, who in turn wrote and composed a song to reflect Benson's concerns. Benson wanted to give the song to his group, but the other Four Tops turned down the request. "My partners told me it was a protest song," Benson said later. "I said, no man, it's a love song about love and understanding. I'm not protesting, I want to know what's going on." In 1970, Benson presented the untitled song to Marvin Gaye, who added a new melody and revised the song to his liking, adding in his own lyrics. Benson later said Gaye tweaked and enriched the song, added some things that were more ghetto, more natural, which made it seem like a story than a song. "We measured him for the suit and he tailored the hell out of it." Gaye titled it, "What's Going On?" Anxious for Marvin Gaye product, Motown's sales vice president Barney Ayers released the song on January 17, 1971, pressing 100,000 copies and promoting the single to radio stations across the country. The initial success of this led to a further 100,000 to answer demand, selling over 200,000 copies within a week. The song eventually became a huge success, reaching the top of the charts within a month in March of the year, staying at number 1 for 5 weeks on the Billboard R&B charts.
What was
and became
Marvin
the
Gaye as a
fastest-selling
person
Motown
like?
single
Does
at the
anybody
time.
know? I don't really care
Go to
that
the
much.
full
but-
article with the song's history, lyrics, and video in the description.
All right, so let's get right into the song. I'll explain one thing that stuck out to me afterwards about what he said. I even got a lyric video for you guys.
Mother, there's too many of you crying.
The band that I see on Sundays in Columbus, they cover this several times. They sound
There's far
excellent.
too many of you dying.
Sasha would be like, "This is boring, it sucks."
To bring some loving here today. Yeah. Father,
Yeah, we'll see if the warning light pops up.
we don't need to escalate.
Sasha, do you know this song?
You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way
Turn it up a little bit.
to bring some love here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality.
Yeah, great voice.
Talk to me
If any of you ever heard of Take Six,
so you can see
the best vocal group, a cappella group of all time, they cover this song and do a really good job with it
what's
too.
going on. Oh, what's going on. Right on. Right on.
I mean, I think I would be shocked to find somebody who doesn't know this song.
Everybody thinks
Yeah, it just got such a happy, relaxed feeling, which I think is interesting
Oh, but who would they judge us?
because it's got such a
Simply 'cause our hair is long.
an idea behind the song that it's for like persecution and all that other stuff. But the song itself is very like uplifting, which goes with what they said in the intro that I'll talk about after the song.
Pick it side. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me. You can see what's going on. Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on.
But I would guess, like, take Korea for instance. A lot of music, especially at this time, would go across, unless it's a place that didn't have music that they listened to, like let's say Africa. I'm sure people in Kenya don't know much music at all from any other country. It's funny, even my wife, who's my age, knows a lot of music that's like older and popular, especially from when she grew up. It's because it was so popular in South Korea. Of course, we helped them rebuild South Korea, so that's part of it. Nice. So I think obviously that is, what's funny is I had to tell myself to keep paying attention to the lyrics because my mind just naturally goes towards just like listening to the groove and listening to the music. And even my comment was less about the actual lyrics and more about like, oh, this is such a nice, happy song, because it's so hard for me to pay attention to lyrics. But are you serious, Nick? You've never heard that before? Right after I said, everybody knows it. I hope you're being sarcastic. But in the intro, what I find very interesting, and I'm not going to get into this much because my channel is not about this kind of stuff, and I want to avoid it as much as possible. But in the intro, it talked about that I didn't know this, that when he wrote the lyrics, like someone was like, this is about this, and he said, no, I really want to know what's going on. Like his point wasn't to protest in writing the song, according to what they said in that intro. He was really seeing what was going on and just trying to figure out. And I think one of the major problems with our society today, left or right or whatever, is that I remember, so I'll get a little backstory of this. In Denver, right after I got divorced, and it was a terrible situation, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life because I wasn't experiencing something that I was experiencing something I wasn't expecting to. I found this, it was called meetup.com, which is still around, but it's turned into an absolutely horrific thing because whenever you have business and people, business always wins, which is a church thing that I always used to like protest against when I was a Christian, is I was like, you can't mix business and people. Either you give it, for free and you're loving people and you don't charge money or that kind of stuff, or you make it into a business and people are going to always come second to having to make money or so So I had this whole thing about church should not be a business, but it is a business, which is why I think it has no power. But that's a whole nother, line of thinking. But I remember going to this philosophy, and Meetup has become that, which is why I brought that up, is Meetup is a business and it uses people to make money. And now that it's got enough people to follow, they're charging like $90 and shit like that to get subscriptions and stuff because it's about making money and less about people. And I went to this philosophy group at meetup.com when it was free, when it first started here in America back in 2008, 9. And it was called Socrates Cafe. And Socrates Cafe was literally, we would go and it was like, I don't know, like 8 people, 9 people consistently going. And it was this older dude, he was probably in his 70s, early 70s, that was running the group. And his whole point was Socrates' philosophy was questioning, and everything needs to be questioned. And so he was like, the group, we will, bring a philosophical topic. So each person, if they had a topic, they would throw the topic out there. So if I wanted to talk about racial tensions in America, that would be my topic. If another person wanted to talk about marriage and divorce, that would be another topic. And then the group, who was ever there that night, would vote on which topic they wanted to discuss that night. And whoever had the majority, that's the topic that would be discussed that night. And then he had rules. And his rules were that when the person who picked the topic would introduce what the topic is and why they brought it up. And then everybody else in the conversation had to ask questions, that making statements like, oh, I think that's wrong, or you shouldn't think that, or, this is what's wrong with the world. But those statements were actually frowned upon in the group. It was more about coming into it and being like, what's going on? Like, what do you think about this? Why do you think this way? So the 5 W's, who, what, where, why, when, and asking questions about stuff. And in this particular song, I think this is true, is that he wasn't trying to protest. He wasn't trying to make statements about what's wrong with the world. He was trying to literally ask a question. What the fuck is going on? And I thought that was really cool. And I think maybe that's why the song is actually like uplifting and cool, even though it's addressing or talking about something that was pretty tough at that time. And our society, I think, has just gotten so far away from ever asking other people questions. It's just making fucking statements all the time. And you have all these people just making statements all the time. There's no understanding going on. There's no desire to understand the other side or the other differing opinions. And our whole world sucks because of that in our society. And it's annoying. So people can't just chill. People cannot, and I think the Discord channel turned into that, because that's what our world has turned into, is just listen and be like, well, why do you think that? Where does that come from? Like, and because you can also ask questions in a shitty way too. Why do you think that? Versus like, why do you think that? And trying to understand them. Versus like, I'm going to ask a rhetorical question to make a statement. They also talked about that in the Socrates Cafe, which is very, very interesting. Yeah. So I think one of the number one problems in our society today is that people don't ask questions anymore. And that's why even on dates, relationships, it just sucks, because people don't really care to like get the wonder of getting to know someone is not there anymore. It's just like, how can I use you to get money, get sex, get whatever it is. It's not about getting to know or understand anymore. That's been lost in our society almost. Okay, that's it. I'm done with that. Thank you for that, Galen, because I did not know that detail, that he wrote that song with the idea of literally asking the question of what's going on versus like, let's protest and, make statements and this is wrong and let's, burn shit down. It wasn't like that at all. It was really cool. All right. I'll catch up with your comments in a second, but let's get into the second song. Up next is going to be Fran. Fran has brought to us, let me see if I can find Fran's email. Here it is. Perfect. She says, this is called The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. We know Simon and Garfunkel. I don't know if I know this song, though. The Boxer. I don't know it by title. Written by Paul Simon. Album is Bridge Over Troubled Water. Performed by Paul Simon, Art Garfunkel. This multiple Grammy-winning album was the very first record in my lifetime collection. Interesting. My father had purchased it because it won the Grammy and was the norm. He hated it. That's funny. I didn't even have a record player, but gladly took it off his hands. I still have my original copy recorded in 1969, released in 1970. So this was a year before What's Going On. Interesting. The absolute gem of this album is The Boxer. The most iconic and beautifully crafted lyrics about getting up after defeat, loneliness, and hardships as a universal truth. Interesting. The way the orchestration enhances the lyrics is magnificent. A couple of fun facts. Paul originally felt it was a failure in songwriting because of the lie, la, lie chorus, but later noted that it turned out to be an iconic writing effect to demonstrate how the human race can often put on a happy face, that rhymed, during a difficult time. Last fact, the epic booming drum sound in the back of the mix were recorded in an abandoned elevator shaft. That's interesting. The bass drum was on the ground level and the microphones were on the 12th floor. How cool. representing sonically how our brains push our negative and painful emotions and memories to the back of our minds, but they periodically bubble to the surface in waves. My favorite song lyrics of all time. This is interesting. I don't know the song by the title, but it sounds that lie, lie, lie. I think I'm pretty sure I know the song. So here we go. The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Should I turn this one up too? Yeah, it sounds kind of low.
I am just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told.
There we go.
I squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jest, still the man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared.
Like that.
Laying low, seeking out
I know the chorus of this, but I'm not familiar with these
where the
lyrics.
ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Lie, lie, lie.
Everyone knows this part.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Asking only workmen's wages, I come looking for a job, but I get no offers. Just to come on from the wars on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome I took some comfort there. La 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 la.
Nice. Yeah, I love finger picking stuff. I just shared with Michael a finger picking guitarist that's just probably the most soulful dude I've ever heard play guitar. Listen for that drum beat. That's a really cool fact, Fran.
And I'm laying out my winter clothes and wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters are bleeding me, bleeding me.
Like it.
In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that laid him down or cut him till he cried out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighter still remains. Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, lie, lie.
Fran, like, when you hear this song, does it bring up feelings for you? Or is it more like a headspace for you?
La
I really like, see, I really like the details that Fran let us know before. They're just cool little interesting things to know about. All right, that's great. And that's another thing that I love is, again, we talk many times, or I've talked many times on the channel about getting different varieties on the channel, even if I don't like the varieties, you know, so whether it's rap, blues, and it's just, you know, I like that I would call it breaks in our typical genres of like progressive rock and heavy when we get like 60s, 70s, you know. Not many people play 80s, although I did think of including an 80s song at some point on the channel because it's so good. And it's just good to hear other decades, other styles of music that obviously the first two songs that we've had today are just monumental, awesome songs. And lyrically do carry a lot of weight to them. So that's awesome. Let's get into the next song, which is going to be, if I believe, is Nick's song. So Nick says, this is a Brazilian band from, I don't know how to say that, Curitiba? Is that how you say it? It's probably the worst way to say it. Curitiba? I don't know how to say it. Which, by the way, where is that? I don't know where you even know where it's at or located. Their sound is a mix of rock, rap, and samba. Ooh, samba. Chicken. Chicken. Even it's a little reggaetonish. Even incorporating many unique instruments like the cavaco, I don't know, cuica. Is that how you say it? You're just making me fucking say these things that I can't pronounce. Pandeiro and traditional samba percussion. Rage Against the Machine is a big inspiration to them. Their vocalist even sounds exactly like Zack de la Rocha. This inspiration is not only about their sound, but also about what they stand for. This song is full of idioms and slang that I can't really do justice to trying to translate in full. The gist of it comes from the title, Tiro el Queda? Is that how you say it? Which kind of means one shot, one kill. Whoa. It's kind of like the opposite of two birds, or the same as two birds with one stone. One shot, one kill. One shot, two kills. As in something that just works in an infallible and efficient manner. Okay. It plays with military imagery and words to paint a picture of urban resistance and direct action. Some poignant passages. Only insane dudes full of... This is actually like the quote. Only insane dudes full of good intentions with a lot of ideas to keep their mouths shut. By the way, okay, Nick, this is really long. This is probably the longest paragraph we've had in a long time, maybe ever. So one of the passages is only insane dudes full of good intentions with a lot of ideas to keep their mouths shut. A critique of people who can see the socio-political problems but keep themselves away from real action about changing it. So listen for... Only insane dudes full of good intentions with a lot of ideas to keep their mouth shut. And then good-intentioned tomahawk, let go into the universe. Appreciator of the inner silence. Of each exiled book, a new serial killer is born. Killer, like as in rap. Educating yourself is important as long as you can bring what you learn to the real world and not only keep it to yourself. With no for the dime bag or the briefcase. Sobriety doesn't necessarily mean being a square. I'm not an example. I'm just another one. Click, clack, han. Click, clack, click, clack, hey. Okay. Not about the individual sense of making it at any cost. Sometimes doing what needs to be done is not thrilling and romantic. It's not about oneself. It's about the collective. Interesting. See, what's interesting about this is if you didn't explain this, Nick, this, like, what is being said here, good intention tomahawk, let go to the universe, I would have no fucking idea what they're talking about. I would have no idea. Chorus. It's one shot, one kill, one shot, one kill. A cocked up conscious mind is dangerous. A cocked up conscious mind is one shot, one kill. Now this is my favorite one. Gem of a line in Portuguese doesn't fly as well in English really, which is Only violent pacifists thrown out of the orgy for bad behavior, but with much more love than the shepherd's word. See, I would have no idea what they're talking about there. A jab at the false moralists who always pivot to virtue signaling rather than real organized action. Only violent pacifists thrown out of the orgy for bad behavior, but with much more love than the shepherd's word. And how did you know that that's what they were talking about? Because just reading it, that makes no sense to me. Like, I would have no idea what they're talking about. Well, that's it. Hope you all enjoy the track, and I bet Cap is really happy about reading all of that. So the band is Machete Bomb. Is that how you say it? And the song is Tiro El Queda. Let's get into it. Can I take off the filter?
Machete Bomb, a gangue do cavaco profano. 2016, diretamente de Nossa Senhora da Luz dos Fiais de Curitiba.
I can hear the Rage Against the Machine connection.
Microfone, senta o dedo em mais um. Derruba mais um e na pressão vamos invadindo o lugar. Momento de tensão e atividade. O som que vem doído, ruído do egoísmo da cidade. Solano insano, muito bem intencionado. Com muita ideia pra continuar calado. Maluqueiro sim, marginal sem fim de semana. Barulhando a ideia humana, confrontando o mainstream. Consciência engatilhada é um perigo. Juntar todos os seus pior que eu quero ver empatar comigo.
Nice. Kind of like the music, and I definitely don't understand what they're saying.
O microfone senta o dedo e sai da reta. Sempre louco demais pra vir da uma de profeta. Levantando ideia até seu tipo não explodir. Balística precisa, tira o fio certo pra te confundir. Aterrorizando pelo verso. Eu sou toma rock bem intencionado, solto no universo. Apreciador do silêncio interior de cada livro que se exila. Nasce um serial killer de verdade. Sem malote, sem maleta e sobriedade. Não quer dizer saber viver careta, mas se liga que não sou exemplo, sou mais um click-clack, 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 pum, hey! Tira em queda, pum, hey! Tira em queda, uma mente consciente engatilhada é um perigo, uma mente consciente engatilhada é, tira em queda,
I like that, whatever that is.
click-clack, pum, hey!
Nice. It's got some groove, man.
Dando uma amorosa coronhada no sistema. Os pacifistas, delinquentes, grande parte do problema. Mais um refém da própria convicção. Vivendo em 24 horas de tensão. Machete bomba na pressão. Estimulando a sua pineal e seu períneo. Ultrajando o seu comportamento retilíneo. Anarco viciado em se iludir. Na batalha da sua mente a intenção é ocupar e resistir. Sou pacifista violento. Luto na suruba pelo mau comportamento. Mas com muito mais amor que a palavra do pastor. Foda-se a sua origem, sua escolha, sua cor. Infante na guerrilha lírica. Eu sou mais um click-clack, 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 pum, hey!
That was cool.
Tira em queda, pum, hey! Tira em queda, uma mente consciente engatilhada é um perigo.
What is that?
Mente consciente engatilhada
Is that his low bass drum? Oh, they have. I can't really see the filter, but hear it?
Tira em queda, pum, hey! Tira em queda, uma mente consciente engatilhada é um perigo, uma mente consciente engatilhada é.
Yeah, it sounds like a timpani drum. I don't know, but I don't see the drummer hitting it, so I think another one of their percussionists is hitting it. Hear it? I like it. It kind of adds to the song quite a bit. But the drummer's not hitting it, Ryan. On the beat, anyway. And they definitely have a timpani player, so or like a percussionist, him. Yeah, he's hitting it. I just saw it. It's a conga, but it's low. Okay. No, he's not hitting it, Ryan. I can see it. It's the conga player. I saw the conga player hit it, not the drummer. What is this? Just like a outro? It's like leading into another song. It must be, because that was an interesting end, if not. Yeah, so Nick, that's what he was playing, because I couldn't see it until the very end. I did see that there was a percussionist outside of a drummer. All right, so that brings us to the last song, and we're still at 41 minutes because I talked a lot, but I actually like the musicality of that song. Again, I couldn't understand the lyrics, but the musicality of that song I really, really liked. Pretty like funky with a mix of Rage too, which, you know, I like. I wouldn't say that I don't like own any Rage songs or albums, but definitely unique and known for what they do. All right, the last one is going to be Ryan himself. So Ryan turned this song in very last minute, I think Friday night, if I remember correctly. But he says, this song just kind of mirrors what's going on with parts of my life right now. I found the lyrics true and interesting. Is this a lyric video, or we're going to have to really listen to what the lyrics say? The song is Fish Hook, and the band is Protest the Hero. Oops, I think, yeah. I think I mixed it up because it's usually band and then song. So I think I put the band as Fish Hook, but the song is Fish Hook. The band is Protest the Hero. So he has the lyrics here for me. I mean, I'm obviously not going to read all of the lyrics, but I will pay attention to them. Hopefully you guys can figure them out. And then Ryan, when you say it mirrors what's going on in parts of my life right now, if you feel comfortable describing in the chat, let us know what that means specifically. Here we go with the last song. This is Protest the Hero with Fish Hook. Oops.
And there's a driveway conversation between two neighbors where one feels comfortable expressing his opinion of what he thinks is his opinion. Can we just talk about the weather and how some rain would really help the grass grow? I'm tired of conversations with this geriatric asshole.
This is Ryan basically saying, leave me alone.
But the growth you need would take too much from me.
So I want to call him, walk away and call him a dick. Who the hell is, what neighbor do you have to deal with, Ryan? Yeah, so am I. I miss Pete. When I lived across town, he lived across the streets. When the plow went by, he was there with a shovel to dig me out, dig me out, dig me out. Is that literal or figurative? Dig me out, dig me out. Dig me out of this conversation where I am inundated with misinformation. It's COVID, vaccines, communist tyrants using these words but can't lie to me while trying to open the door. And on your way out, nice switch here. This world, please remember, you don't know a goddamn thing. Yes, on your way out of this world, please remember, you don't know a goddamn thing at all. See, even it's hard for me to talk and react when I'm trying to pay attention to the lyrics too. That's the other thing. Oh man, I miss Pete. When I lived across town, he lived across. Okay, back to the repeating. When the plow went by, he was there with a shovel to dig me out, dig me out, dig me out. Too bad me's no big trouble. Dig me out, dig me out. I know you see them as a threat, but try not to forget if you put kindness in the world, it's kindness that you get. But when everything inside you is just bitterness and gray, congratulations, you're a tired old cliche. Dig me out of this hole. What you need Sasha likes it already. I just saw that. Nope. Starting to fade out. I can rewind it where. Here we go. Uh-oh. I think I just. That help? No, it's got full green bars for me, so I think it's a YouTube thing. I haven't had any lag, and I don't even have the bitrate problem today.
When the plow went by, he was there with a shovel to dig me out, dig me out, dig me out. Two bad knees, no big trouble, dig me out.
I rewinded it.
I know you see them as a threat, but try not to forget if you put kindness in the world, it's kindness that you get. But when everything inside you is just bitterness and gray, you grab the fucking legs and you're a tired old cliche. Dig me out of this hole. What you need ain't no big trouble. I'll help to take you out. I'll take you out.
Have we had Protest the Hero on the channel before? I think we have, haven't we? Maybe I'm mixing it up with a different band. Yeah, this part sounds like it's fading out.
You can build a fence around the garden to try and keep the deer out, so you can grow more food than you can eat. Or you can tear the fence down and enjoy their graceful nature. No one.
Yeah, I haven't had any interruptions in my, according to OBS. It's at full green bars. So.
Why are you so goddamn afraid? It's hard to affect any major change, but you can change your dating ways. And when I close my door, he goes away. As the conversation in my head replays. And there's no room in his heart for any doubt. 'Cause no one ever helped to dig him out. I'll take you out. There's a conversation in the driveway.
Hi.
I hope I'm having someday with someone different, someone more enlightened. 'Cause I don't want to get old and jaded, arrogant, delusional, and full of hatred. Acting like a dick because I can't admit that I am frightened.
Yeah, I'm trying to like keep up with the lyrics because there's a lot that they're saying and very fast. And that's the end. So the last verse is, there's a conversation in a driveway, one I hope I'm having someday, with someone different, someone more enlightened, because I don't want to grow old and jaded, arrogant, delusional, and full of hatred, acting like a dick because I can't admit that I am frightened. Interesting. I think that last line in particular is probably substantive of a lot of what's going on with people, which is basically the whole point of therapy and counseling is, for whatever's going on the surface, there's a much deeper hole of why that is going on the surface. So, but yeah, that is, I actually think this was a very, very interesting, overall interesting theme for a Hodgepodge. And though it's probably because it pushes me out of my normal kind of musical mode, which is to just listen to the music and have to pay attention to the lyrics, it does make it very, very hard for me to respond to what's being said right in the moment because the lyrics are constantly going by. Whereas like, I feel like the music, there's like 2 or 3 basic themes that kind of repeat itself throughout a song. So once I've heard it once and then it goes into it again, I don't really have to, I mean, I listen to it, but it's like, I know it, I'm familiar with it. Whereas lyrics, you're trying to get every sentence along with the bigger picture of what every sentence is saying. So it's particularly hard to do a reaction to it because I don't say much because I'm trying to figure it out. There's much more thinking involved and much more in-depth ideas involved when it comes to lyrically focused content. But I think it's good because I think for as much as I say there's not a ton of songs out there with good lyrics, there are, and musically is a message just as much as the lyrics can be as well. So I love when we do themes like this. So I think, doing themes and hodgepodges and stuff like that, I think need to continue to happen. So whoever wants to continue, I think Fran has been really the leader of that recently with playing with these theme sets. But if you guys, want to put together themes a lot, I love them. I think they're fun. They're another way of trying to be creative about what we can put together. Speaking of, next week, let me see. We have on next Sunday, the 23rd, we have Fran's Hodgepodge theme set. And I have everybody's song except for Adrian and Fran. Fran, I think you are giving a song, right? Adrian mentioned that he was going to turn his in soon. And then Fran, I think you're a part of this, right? If you sent your song, I don't think I have it. So let me know if you did, or you might have to send it again because I don't see it. I would agree, Nick. This is probably the most varied set. So Adrian's going to turn his in. Fran, you have one to turn into? Okay, you sent it last night. Okay, I haven't checked the actual emails yet, so I just saw it pop up on my phone. All right, you guys, by the way, if you noticed in the schedule, you should be checking the schedule every once in a while. I think we're all the way through September 20th right now. We have a break on Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend because I'm leaving that weekend. So just notice in the schedule, we have August 22nd, August 23rd, August 29th, and then we don't have another one until September 12th because I will be gone for Labor Day weekend. All right, everybody, have a good one. We will see you next week. Peace.